All these years, we've been looking for a flagship killer. And when we finally get one, we pick it apart. What's going on, folks? It's your man, Jay. I'm here to talk about the also famous, now this has become famous, the Pixel 4a. So before we get this video going, I know there's going to be people that comment and say, it's not a flagship killer, it doesn't have a flagship processor. Duh. It's too small, it's too big, it's blah, blah, blah. I understand. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I've been using this phone since it came out, and I gotta tell you, it is every bit of a flagship killer. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. This is no longer being labeled a budget king for me. This is by far, should be, and you know me, if you know me, you've been following me for a little bit, you know that the LG G8 was my benchmark phone. This is the new benchmark. Let's get into this video. All right, so let's get into this checklist that I just randomly I'm gonna make up along the course of this video. I don't have any notes or anything. I love to freehand it. That's just the way I like to do videos, but there's a lot to like about this phone, and the more and more I use it every day, it just gets better and better, honestly. So some of you guys, again, are gonna say, that's not a flagship killer, but in this video, I'm gonna tell you why. So first things first, the reason I think this is a flagship killer is because obviously the first thing is the performance. It stands toe-to-toe with all of the so-called flagships that cost double, triple the cost. It stands toe-to-toe in performance. It really does. Meaning, I'm not talking about benchmarks. I'm talking about just day-to-day use, just regular usage on the device, to where I'm doing things on the phone. This phone is fast, really fast, and it's just as fast as all of these phones I might have laying on this table. They have an 865, an 855, an 855 Plus, 765, all these different processors mean nothing. This phone has a 730G. Now again, before I keep going into this video, I can't imagine what the Pixel 5 is gonna do. But this, in fact, to me, the first reason is the performance. That is why I think that this is this phone to me is considered a flagship killer. Meaning you don't need to spend that kind of money to get a good experience day to day with your task. This phone can handle it all. I mean, it can handle all your multitasking, whatever multitasking is to you. If that's having 15 apps open at one time, it can handle it because it has 6 gigs of RAM and also has 128 gigs of storage. So we'll get into that. But overall, the performance on this device, the Pixel 4a, is absolutely fantastic. And it flows along just like any other device. So remember what I said. Performance is on point. I think Google has mastered the art of getting solid optimization and performance in this device. Now, all they have to do is keep this trend going, and they have a serious lineup on their hands if all of their phones start to perform like this phone in this price bracket. So the next reason why I think this is definitely a flagship killer is because of what I just said. Price. You can get one of these, let me scratch that. You can get one of these for your entire family, depending on how big your family is, for the price of one of the so-called flagships. So, and we're talking about MSRP, what these companies are offering. This phone is selling for a full cost at what you have to get the other phones for on a discount, if you can get them this low on a discount. So price is definitely how people shop. It is important to them to make sure that they get a good price. This phone is totally worth 350 bucks. It totally is. It is standing toe to toe with phones out there that are way more in price, and that is important. Price should be something on your list that you actually go after and really narrow it down to how much I really want to spend. And Google has learned what that sweet spot is for price. Okay, so price is definitely killing the flagships based on the performance that you're getting for that price. See how this goes? So performance is great, and based on that price, it's definitely killing all the flagships. It's keeping up, if not surpassing them. All right. Now, the next thing is some of the features in the phone, i.e. stereo speakers. Whoa, 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 whoa. These are some of the best stereo speakers on the device that I've heard in a lower price bracket in a long time. Now, I will say this, my Moto G Power has some killer stereo speakers and it also costs less. So, but this is nowhere near a flagship killer. Too many things that it boxed that it can't check. However, the speakers on here, the fact that you get stereo speakers, incredible. Some flagships don't even have stereo speakers. And the ones that do don't sound as good as this phone. Trust me, I've tested, just thoroughly tested in and out. And this phone, for those that are paying attention, is feature packed. And stereo speakers is one of the best features that this phone offers. Another reason why I think it's a flagship killer is the display. Now this is an OLED display, full display, and it has a little camera hole in the top over there, but this is a full display, 5.8 inches. Now 5.8 inches is a big screen, but it's got a small body, and I think that's what you should really be paying attention to. You should want to get the biggest screen you can in the slimmest form factor. And I think Google might be testing the waters here to see if they can get away with 5.8, because 5.8 in most people's hands is going to be really comfortable. And then you throw on a case and it's still comfortable. It's still very comfortable, even with the case. You see? So this is something that you should take note of. The screen size is great, but even if you pack it down with outer boxes, shout out to Team OtterBox, or just any kind of case, you still should have a very comfortable size and feel in hand. But the screen, 5.8, flawless. And it's not that it's just 5.8, it is OLED. It is beautiful. It is one of the most beautiful screens that you can get in this size. And yes, it's 1080p. That's important to some people. Now, if this was 720p, I would have some questions. However, this is 1080p and it's OLED and it's actually really good. That's another feature why I think this is definitely a flagship killer. So you've got performance being good based on the price that you're getting. The performance is spectacular. Then you have stereo speakers and an OLED display and a compact body. There are not a lot of powerhouse devices in small sizes these days. Everything is ginormous, like my OnePlus here. Let's hold this big thing up here so you can see the difference. This is ginormous compared to the phone. So, and when you put this back in the case, it's really ginormous compared to this phone. And so you get all this performance, you get this beautiful speaker setup, you get this beautiful screen, you get this great price. And another feature that this phone has, and I guess I won't call it a feature, I'll call it an option that's given to us for that $350 price tag. It's 128 gigs of storage. That is something that should be a baseline on all cell phones. And I think Google listened and said, you know what? Let's scrap the 64. Let's just give them 128. It's not gonna cost us that much more money to put it in there. On top of that, let's go ahead and give them 6 gigs of RAM, just to make sure that the performance and price value is gonna slaughter everybody else. It's really good, folks. Having 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage in this package that I'm talking about is fantastic. It's great. Flagship level. You know why? Do I have to say it? Do I have to tell you? All right, this OnePlus has 128 gigs of storage and it didn't cost $350. The Note Ultra obviously is 128 gigs. It didn't cost $350. The Note 20, 128 gigs, didn't cost $350. You see where I'm going. Well, my Ultra was a good deal, but I had to give something up to get that good deal. You see what I'm saying? So Google has finally said, you know what? Let's just throw it in there. Let's just give it to them. We messed them over with the pricing on the Pixel 4. Let's take care of them on the Pixel 4a. Now, another feature or option is the fingerprint reader. it has one. And you know, this is proven to be something. And again, my Moto G Power has a fingerprint reader, which is great. And that's really nothing. And even my ZTE joint right here, my ZTE blade has a fingerprint reader. That's a good thing to have a fingerprint reader. And I've always liked the fingerprint readers, the rear mounted fingerprint readers. But when you see it on a 2020 device, it's kind of like, whoa. And it's got the Google brand on it. It's like, whoa, I can see why they did that. I don't think it had anything to do with coronavirus, because this phone was probably produced way before coronavirus. But I think they were thinking, how can we give them some extra security or protection or a way to lock their phone, unlock their phone or whatever without breaking the bank? Oh, wait, let's just put a rear mounted fingerprint reader. To me, that's an option that's killing these so-called flagships, because an in-screen fingerprint reader, no matter what you do sometimes, it probably will never be as accurate as a hardware fingerprint reader on the back. It just won't do it. So that's another option that they've given us. Another thing is, it's right on the top there, a headphone jack. Now some of you guys always shake a leg at it, but some flagships like LG, they still put headphone jacks on their flagships, and their lineup period. Flagships though have headphone jacks, and LG has that quad DAC, and so that's to their favor. If you're using the right headphones, you get the great sound. But even when I plug in my really high-powered headphones to this thing, it sounds fantastic. Gotta admit, so I got a headphone jack. That's great. Another thing that is offered on pretty much all flagships is Type-C. Now you might think every phone has Type-C. Nah, not every phone has Type-C, but this has fast charging. What is it, 18 watts in the box or something like that? That's still good, because some flagships are just now offering 25 or anything higher than 18. And again, price and all the features that I've called so far, the value is there, right? You can't help but say that the value is there. I mean, personal preference. Some people like to say, oh, it's personal preference. Okay, it's personal preference, but there's no denying what I'm holding in my hand and what some of you are holding in your hand, which is the Pixel 4a, is being a fantastic phone for the money. There's no getting around that. Thus, this video making it a flagship killer. Now, one positive thing that you've heard about this phone that everybody has given credit to Google for, you know what it is, I really should have to say it, the cameras. These are flagship cameras at a much lower price. And Google has mastered the art of getting their software with their hardware to produce some of the best photos, video from a single shot camera. Remember, there's only one camera back there. These are fantastic. So, could I go on and on about the positives of why this is a flagship phone? I think I called out the main things that matter to me. What matters to you for a phone to be considered a flagship killer? What would make your flagship killer? And for me, that's I guess that's it, because it matches everything that's on my so-called flagships and offers something better than my so-called flagships. So why couldn't this be a flagship killer? This is no more going to be labeled a budget king for me or whatever. This is the phone to beat, in my humble opinion. Now, I know you got your own opinion, and I respect it. Please leave it down below. Love to talk to you guys about it. But this is the new king of smartphones as far as I can see it, because anyone in the smartphone world, or anybody that's not in the smartphone world, it's no longer, oh, it's so easy, you can just pick up an iPhone. It's so easy, you can pick up a Google Pixel 4a. This phone, there's a reason why this phone pretty much is selling everywhere. And to this day, I still see people doing unboxings. Like today, as I'm recording this video, people have been waiting for this phone. Like, oh, I finally got it, I'm so excited, son, to do this unboxing. Or just regular folks saying, you know, oh, I'm so happy I got this. Yeah, there's a reason why they're saying it. I stand to gain nothing. Google doesn't know I made this video, unless you guys share it with them. I appreciate it. Maybe you can tag them on Twitter or something with my video. That would be nice. That would be great if you guys did that. Everyone, please go tag Twitter with this video on your social media, just your Twitter, your whatever you want to tag them with. Tag them with my video. Show me some love. That's the least you could do. Even if you voted the video down, for those that just hate to hear the words that this is the phone to beat. Because I know there'll be people out there that have Galaxy phones that'll say, oh, It doesn't have the S Pen, and it doesn't have all the features of the Galaxy phones. I would rather have all these features and not use them than have all these features, than not have these features and not be able to get them at all. To me, that's just why would I want a whole bunch of stuff on my phone that I'm not going to use? It's going to be integrated into the software, thus using resources that you're probably going to be slowing down your phone or eating up battery or just flat out eating up resources that you don't need to be used by something that's just stale. This has split screen. It has all the things of Android. It has split screen, all these things. Now, it doesn't have IP rating, I believe. It doesn't have wireless charging. What else? I don't know. Not very many things that it is missing from flagships that this phone doesn't have. This even offers more in a lot of cases. So, to me, if the Google Pixel 5 is a whole bunch bigger than this, or the 4A, I think it's going to be like a 4A XL. I don't know what it's going to be. They're all rumors. If you look on Google's website, I think that the big version that they show on the website is actually the big version of this phone. And I think that the small version is actually the Pixel 5 with higher specs. So, in my eyes, in my opinion, this is the phone to beat. Now, you can argue with me or you can try to argue with me. Debate. Let's not use argue. Debate. You can try to debate this with me all you want to, but it's a losing battle because these are my point of view. This is my viewpoint. You don't have to agree. I totally got you. However, I'm going to respect what you say in the comments, as long as with this reason, you're not trying to just be crazy in the comments, but I want to know if you have this phone and if you feel the same way I do. And I want to know if you have been on the fence about getting this phone, if you feel like, maybe I should take a stab at it. If you're willing to go out and trade in your $1,000 phone and get a $600 credit just to get another $1,000 phone, why wouldn't you just take $350 and go ahead and walk to the store or go to Google's website and just buy this and give it a try? You're not missing out on anything, and you still have your $1,000 phone that this phone beats up on. And you can do your own comparison like I do. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. TeamPixel, where you at? Stand up. Shout out to everybody supporting the TeamPixel. Just anybody who's Pixel. You don't have to have this phone. If you're TeamPixel, I want to see you in the comments. If you're not TeamPixel, I want to see you in the comments. I want to see what your thoughts are on my thoughts about this phone. Let's get it going. See you in the next one. Take care. I always giving y'all the salute up out here. All right now. Peace. You got it. It's your man Jay. I'm out.